Welcome back to the Superkick podcast for 2024. This is the round 19 review, and we have first up the Don is Good scraping home against the Doctor's Vengeance, who actually scored more goals than Don is Good, but the inaccurate kicking of the Don is Good has resulted in them getting the win by 2 points, with Mason Wood being the best with 3 goals for. Actually, that's the difference really here, along with Oscar Allen kicking 2 and Mitch Georgiadis kicking 3. Meanwhile, for Vengeance, it was Treloar returning with 3 goals and Mansell kicking 3. Final scores 76-74. Next up, we had the high-scoring match between the Goldfest and the Mangoes, where the Goldfest were able to get out to a big lead of 11 goals and just couldn't quite scrape it back. The Mangoes falling short by a goal and a half. Keys and Membry being the best for each side, with Amiss and Fogarty producing a similar amount of goals for. But it was the extra goal by Brett Daniels and by Nick Watson proved the difference. Goldfest winning it by 9 points, 131 to 122. In another crucial finals clash, it was the Funky Bulls who were able to almost secure top spot, playing the Vital Magpies, with Charlie Dixon kicking 4 goals, returning to form, and Hogan also kicking 4. With Tracy, Rayner, McKay and Harrison Jones all kicking multiples, whereas the Vital were only able to get the 2 players to kick 4 in Kerno and Ugelhagen, but no one else was able to produce a multiple, and that was the difference. Final scores 120 to 92. In another crucial finals clash, it was the Boogie Woogie Sheep versus the Scorpions, and it was a very tight match where there was a lot of toing and froing, changing of the final scores leads, with Sheep taking the lead early and also fighting back late, but unfortunately falling short by 4 points, with Curtis kicking the winner with 3 goals, while Jesse Motlop was able to kick 3 for the Sheep. Final scores 83 to 87. In the last game of the round, it was the Quiche at the plate playing the Paltina Pirates, and it was a very tight match in the end. Almost Pirates being able to cause the boil over, but they fell short by 1 goal, with Connor McDonald kicking 4 for the Quiche, while Walters and Bruce produced multiples, 4 goals each for the Pirates. But it was Ian Hill or Bobby Hill that was the difference, kicking 2 for the Quiche. Final scores 111 to 105. Taking a look at the ladder now, and it's Funky Balls with a lead and some percentage on top, with Don is Good equal with wins. The Quiche in third with 11 wins. Mangoes with 11 wins. Goldfest keeping their finals hope alive with 10, and Vital with 9. Just outside the top 6 is Scorpions with 9 wins, but a terrible percentage, with just 89, and Boogie Woogie Sheep with 8 wins, but a very good percentage of 105. The other 3 teams, Stars, Pirates and Vengeance, out of contention. Taking a look at next week, and it was the Vengeance against the Boogie Woogie Sheep in a match that will define Sheep's premiership defence. The Sheep also take on the Asians in the BH Cup semi-final. The Pirates take on the Stars for Pride. Then the Scorpions take on the East Quiche, which will determine whether the Scorpions can make finals. Mongolian Mangoes take on the Funky Balls, which will result in a possible top 2 berth for the Funky Balls. and Vital Magpies must win against Don is Good if they want to make finals. In the BH Cup, it was the Don is Good versus the Asians, and it was the Don is Good who failed to be able to produce a good enough score, with missing two key goal kickers in the 8 scores. And this was the difference in the end, losing by 16 points to the Bamboozled Asians, who progressed to the semi-final. The final score 76-92. Moving on to the SMS League, and in one of the games of the year, and probably ever of Superkick, probably the highest aggregate that's ever been scored, the White Line Fever were able to just get over the line against Mint and Mick, with scores everywhere, with Mint and Mick unlucky considering he had 8 multiple goal kickers, whereas the White Line Fever only had 6. It was the White Line Fever who was able to get over the top of them by 3 points. Final scores 150-147. In the next match of the round, it was the A-Track versus Walsh Dogs at the Kennel, and it was A-Track who was able to comfortably account for the Walsh Dogs by 50 points, with Darcy Fogarty being the best with 4 goals, while Jack Williams was the best for the Walsh Dogs with 3. Final scores 58-108. Pokebombs took on the Wobbly Kickers at Las Vegas, and it was the Pokebombs who comfortably accounted for the Wobbly Kickers, despite not having the highest goal scorer for the game, with Michael Walters kicking 4 goals for the Wobbly Kickers. It was just the depth of the Pokebombs that was able to account for the Wobbly Kickers by 19 points. Final scores 101-82. In the next match, it was Rocket Rod who kept their finals hopes alive, beating the Fortress by 9 points, with Jesse Hogan kicking 4 goals. And finals, well, Joe Danaher was the best, who was on fire in the first quarter, had thought he was going to kick 12, but only ended up with the 3 for the Fortress. Final scores 90-81. In the final game of the round, it was the Asians taking on the Free Smoke at Asia, and it was the Asians who were able to prevail, beating the Free Smoke by 5 points. Best scorers were Owies for the Asians, while Bruce kicked 4 goals for the Free Smoke. Final scores 92-87. Taking a look at the ladder now, it's White Line Fever who have got 14 wins, but have to have a bye, while the Pokebombs a bit behind on percentage, but have a game in hand. Free Smoke then on 11 wins, and the Asians with 11 wins have secured, all but secured finals position. Then it is the yes, they have. Then it is Minted Mick with 9 wins, and A-Track with 9 wins, but they have a bye. Rocket Rod is still a chance for finals here, and then it is the Rubber Gloves who would need results to go their way in order to make finals. The rest are out of contention, with the Walsh Dogs on 7 wins, Fortress on 6.5, and the Wobbly Kickers on 1 and 2 draws. Taking a look at next week, and the match of the round is the Mint and Mick versus Rocket Rod. This is an 8-point game. This will determine finals results. The Fortress take on the Pokebombs. Wobbly Kickers playing for pride against the Asians. Boogie Woogie Sheep against the Asians in their semi-final of the BH Cup. A-Track take on the Rubber Gloves. Must win there for the Rubber Gloves. And the Free Smoke take on the Walsh Dogs. The Kinder surprise for this week is a Hawthorn player who was able to kick 4 goals, and that was Connor McDonald. She like Bruce Award.
Turns it over. Ford. He missed it.